You know, something I haven't talked about that I should have a while back was how a lot of these institutions in the corporate-backed media, who would have guessed, say that the Occupy Wall Street does not have a goal. And that is the wrong message to send. They have a goal. Unfortunately, their goal is too vague to really enforce. They want to eat the rich. Well, that's a big plate for anybody to eat. There is no amount of time that is going to fulfill that goal all the way through. You're going to have to specify how you want to come down against the rich. That's what I feel Occupy does not seem to understand. I agree with the cause of Occupy, but they just don't have that specified, realistic, short-term, ambition to regulate the rich and to, make things better for the poor. Look at me. I'm pissed off about the video game industry. I know that THQ owns a monopoly on most of the video game industry. I know that Steam program is busting antitrust laws and is just a conspiracy, and it's market allocation, and it's ran like a mafia syndicate. It is wrong, it is illegal, and every form of government institution should come down against them. They're a multi-billion-dollar industry. You know what? I think the government would enjoy taking them down and getting those billions to use however they please. I don't care how they use it. I don't care if they use it to feed the hungry. I don't care if they use it to buy themselves a new yacht. I don't care. But all I care about is making sure the video game industry gets exactly what it deserves and is toppled by regulations and punishments by the federal government and is taxed and is just erased. Steam needs to be erased. Valve needs to be erased. THQ needs to be erased. Until they can get their act together and act like an honest business that when you buy a game, your account isn't tied to the key activation code and they cannot just take that away from you, or some hacker could take it away from you, because even if they hack your account, you can just reinstall it, make a new account, and ta-da, you're back to playing. That's the way video games should be. So that is a realistic goal. And even that is going to take some time because people are unthinking morons and, they don't want to back it up, even though it's them getting screwed over, because it ain't the rich people that have to worry about it. It's the poor people, where if they pay $30 to $60 for a game, that's a lot of money and it adds up quickly. But they're fucking stupid and they're self-destructive and masochistic. So, I have my work cut out for me. But I know what I want, and it's very specified. You can't say that I don't have a distinct goal. You can disagree with it. You can say that it's an unrealistic goal. You'd be wrong. I think it's pretty realistic. But at least you know what it is. But what is Occupy trying to do? What are they protesting about specifically? I do see a lot of rage against corporate personhood. I guess that's a good start. They could say that, they want to end the legal definition of corporate personhood. I don't think that it's going to nearly cripple the big businesses as much as they think it's going to. Corporate monopolies and these conglomerate powers existed long before corporate personhood. But if that's where they want to start, go for it. But you need to have a message that is small enough for people's short attention spans to comprehend. And, you need something that is relevant to people, that you can humanize and bring down to their level where they can understand it. Not everyone is going to read the Communist Manifesto. Not everyone is going to do the hours of research to learn why all these institutions are bad and shit like that. So if I'm not saying not to organize, I'm not saying to give up, I'm not saying that anything you're doing is wrong or bad. I am merely suggesting that you have to prioritize. You have to prioritize the evil and then conquer over it one by one. And that's the way things are going to get done. I'm not telling you have to do what I'm doing. I am just saying that's the way it works. And if you disagree, make a video reply, leave a comment, most likely it'll just be the trolls commenting, but, I can wade through their stupid bullshit and get to your legitimate comment. and tell me what you think. But honestly, that's why I've become demoralized over the Occupy Wall Street movement. It isn't because they're bad people. It isn't because they're doing anything illegal. It shouldn't be illegal to just tent on public property and, hold up your signs in peaceful protest, just spreading a positive message. If that's illegal, then we live in some very dreadful times, But what should be illegal is the force used against them. You know what I think personally the Occupy should do? I think Occupy should focus on lowering police officer activity. Because if police can just spray mace in their eyes and enjoy it, maybe you should consider the idea of reducing the number of police officers. Republicans would get behind that. They would cut spending. Cut spending on all the officers. Or make a regulation where corporations cannot hire police officers for private security. Separate and distinguish between police and private security guards. And, don't let them intertwine, and don't let police walk all over you. So either cut their jobs off, or, make that distinction. I think that's where you should start. And you would probably see less abuses of that authority and less abuses of just that badge if you were to do that. But that's just advice. You don't have to do that. I'm not saying that's what Occupy is about. I'm not saying that's where Occupy should go. That's just a suggestion and an example of what Occupy could do to better their own group, to better their cause, to better their message, and to better life in general for everybody. So that's just my video for that.